So we will start with the first one, and maybe that could be the Danish one. Questions for you guys. We haven't gotten anything on Conference for now, as far as I know. Let's see. No, not on Conference, but maybe someone in the room has a question. And if you have one, we need to have a microphone to get to you. Oh, it's over there. Yes. So are there any questions? Yes, here's a question for the Danish competition.
Thank you very much. The question from my side is, how holistically are you thinking about this project? Is this only about management, like about your project, or interconnecting that sector with the others as well?
If it's
interconnection between water and other sectors like energy, food, ICT, and so on, or you're just siloing water?
The project is only handling the water on the site. Would be the simple answer. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. More questions for the Danish competition?
Can you specify your answer a bit?
Sorry, what?
Can you specify your answer a bit? The only thing is water, or what did you say?
The project, and as the program is describing, we are only handling the water on the site. So we are not working with energy solution or the behaving of the people in terms of the water. Questions?
Yes, please say it in the microphone so we make sure that it's recorded too.
The follow-up question is, because in this case, you see water as a nuisance. Like, how do we just manage that instead of seeing that as a resource to other sectors? So that's more or less like, how do you build up more like a smart solution to handle that and see that as a resource? Just.
Is that a comment or a question?
I didn't.
Something in between? Do you want to add something?
No, sorry.
No? Okay. Very good. One more question? Yes, for the Danish one? I will say it again.
Yes, it was interesting, the problem between the commune, and the problem is that the bad relationships of the commune and the school, park, and plus the other, I don't know about that, but it would be interesting to hear about what sort of problems, because you, in your interface, you just were speaking about that sort of problematicity between the connections between are quite bad.
Badly described.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but just like with the city and the users, like the school.
Do you get the question?
I'm not sure. But maybe I did get some of it.
Yes.
As I understood it, and my colleague Eva described earlier, the schoolyard is very not so well connected to the rest of the site. Was that the question? What is the problem about that? No?
Yes.
Somehow I found out that there were some human connection problems between different groups.
I wouldn't say big problems, but there's a very big potential in making better connection between the people in the area and the use of the different areas.
Very good. Okay. Last question for Denmark. Yes?
I could just, I try to speak loudly. So, is there enough of money for the restructuring for the earth in a way that you can make the water to go elsewhere than in the basements of the buildings? Because what I understood that they are under the flood now. Annually, every year?
No, not every year, but when we have big cloudbursts, they do get.
Yeah, yeah.
So the question was if you have resources too, or places where the water can be let other places and down into the basement.
Yeah, so if there is enough of money to make the water to go elsewhere.
Do you have the money to make the water go elsewhere?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Our utility company, Hufor, it's described in the program as well. They have put it out 40 million Danish kroners to make a solution on this site and to solve this problem. So we do have money.
There's money. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you have more questions for the Danish competition, please post it on Conference. You can also email it to Malin or whatever, but it would be wonderful to put it in there because it will be official anyway, and maybe you'll get inspiration to other good questions.
Could I make my little advertisement?
Very short. Yes,
very short. I just want you to know that we are having 2 categories in the Danish competition, and you should really look into the wildcard one. I think it has very big potential for a lot of you to use that category.
Thank you. Got it? Yeah? Very good. Shall we go for the next one? Kera? Yes? So, I also don't think I have any questions for you up here. Let's just see. Nope. Yes, sorry. How will we get the municipalities to live as they preach about sustainable consumption? Is that a weird question? No? Smiling? Reuse, upcycling, etc., and communication about it, for example.
So I guess the comment from our side would be that that is a very important part of the challenge, and we are hoping you to answer it instead of.
Very good. Other questions out there? For Kera Espo? Yes, one. Can you speak up loud?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question. Like this whole Kera thing, do you see this as a temporal or permanent vision? Like, do you want something to...
Hi again. I will try to speak a little lower, but into the microphone. I just wanted to know, like, do you see it as a temporal thing or permanent? And like, do you want to do it step by step, or do you want to make like a whole change after the S group is gone in 2 years?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and it's something very important for all of you to actually think through. There are 2 aspects. One thing is that it's a huge area. S group owns most of the Kera land, but there are some other landowners as well. And all of that will be converted from industrial to residential. There are about 700 residents now, and it will go up to 15,000. So definitely it's a very big long-term project that will last probably until 2030 or so to finish. And the vision is to make it in this 20-minute neighborhood where people can conveniently move around by foot, and they can use their bicycles and public transport to get to other places. So that's the long-term vision. Then the focus of the challenge is in the transformation phase. So what happens now in about 3 years from now when the S group is completely out of the site and the construction can start. So what are the solutions for the transformation phase so that also the first residents can feel that it's their home and it's a place where they want to be. So whatever is your proposal, it's good to consider what happens now in short term during transformation and how it supports the long-term vision to become reality.
Very good. Thank you. A follow-up question there? Yes, I see.
Thank you. So very related to this, I guess so your definitive idea of the identity of this place is still undefined. So I was wondering, these next 3 years, how open is the municipality for a possibility of participative city making? How could I say? Could we kind of create platforms or system to get resources to actual citizens or future citizens to actively choosing how the city will be made? For example, a more concrete example could be, I saw in your presentation there was these nice slides with a lot of containers, containers in a containers in a containers, kind of very undefined area, different scales. I'm wondering in these 3 years, how could people get agency on what this container would be used to and where they will be located? Because if I think there would be kind of a platform which people could just grab a block symbolizing a container and put it in a maybe physical representation of this space with their own idea. For example, here I want a bicycle sharing system, bicycle repair, and I would like to put it here. So a lot of people like it for the reason that it's still undefined in the process of creating. That could be tested out, a possibility of living with that opportunity here, maybe a place for artists.
Yes, I think, yeah.
I think I get the question.
Yeah.
So a few things again important to note out is that the competition owner in this case is the S Group. So it's a private company that owns the 22-hectare plot very close to the train station. So it's a private sector player that wants to be active in thinking what will happen sustainably in the site once the logistics operations are out. What is happening in parallel is that the city of Espoo is going through the legal process for the future city plan, working on all the city decisions on what will happen in the future. So these two things will happen in parallel and they will feed to each other. But hence, from the point of view of the competition, the most important things to note is that before the S Group logistics operations have moved out, for safety and security reasons, it's not possible to do things inside the logistics center area. But of course, your competition entries could include all kinds of elements for participation, which might be a really smart thing to propose because we want the future to be human-centric and very nice for the residents. So it can be built into it, but for experiments, currently it's not possible yet to do things inside the logistics center. But both the S Group and the city, of course, are open for active participation.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then there was one last question, and then the rest of it should go to Conference, preferably, or write it up on the poster. We put it back up on there. Yes?
Yes, I understood now that there are kind of like two owners for the project, the city of Espoo and the S Group, and they both want to add the value of the area. So are you ready to invest in the project for the transformation years? Or do you expect that it comes for free?
No, actually it depends on the ideas we get. But of course there are possibilities to discuss it over.
Yep. Very good. We round off this session for Kara Espoo now. Thank you so much. And the Danish one and Kara Espoo, you can go down. And the rest of you, I would like for you to move a bit closer here to me. Thank you. Not away, but closer. And if you have questions, please post it on Conference. Otherwise, we will put the question poster back up on the wall by the exit. And then you can write them there, and we will make sure that the owners will answer them on their competition sites. Yes. Let's go to the Faroe Islands. Yes. Carstens Harbor.
No.
No, sorry.
The hillside.
The hillside, sorry. Yeah. So we don't have any questions, I think, on Conference yet here either. No. So it's open. What are you thinking? Yes, there's a question up there. Please just hold on for 2 seconds, and then there will be a microphone for you.
Thank you. So my question is, are you planning these buildings because an expected increase of new people coming there, or from locals in need of new houses, or for both of them?
Well, we have people asking for area to build on, but we don't have that much area left. So there's going to be a problem because of the increased request.
Is there a lot of, is there already an increase of, are you expecting a big increase of people coming?
Well, the last year showed that the increase of people has increased significantly, and therefore we expect something to happen.
Great. More questions for the hillside? Yeah, there is one question down here. Catherine, can you run really fast? It's down here. That's good.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question because I don't know that much about Faroe Islands. So I was wondering, what is the most sustainable potential like within energies up there? How is that made?
Well, in recent years, the national energy company has invested in wind turbines. We have a lot of opportunity for wind turbines because we have a lot of wind, but we also do the private housings. They have, how do you call it, earth heating. Geothermal, yeah. Which is something that is a lot of people are converting to, because usually they get from the use the oil and so on, but they want to go away from that and do more greener and sustainable energy.
Yeah, that was the question, the answer. Wonderful. More questions for this beautiful challenge on the hillside? Yes?
Yes. Just can you be a little bit more precise with the amount of people you expect to move into Runavi? What's the amount of?
Well, we don't have any numbers on that. We haven't done any some kind of prognosis or something, so I don't specific. So, but the area is 45,000 square meters, so we want to fill that out. Okay. So.
Great. More questions for the Faroe Islands? Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to the next one.
Karsnes.
Karsnes, there you are. Wonderful. I have one question here. Is a harbor an important function in Karsnes? The harbor function, is that important?
Well, currently it's recreational mostly, but this is open for the participants to speculate on in their proposals.
Mm-hmm. So you're open for different, that it could play a bigger role as a harbor or a bigger role as a recreation?
Yeah, the challenge is about connectivity, and perhaps the harbor can play a role in that, or it could play a side role. It's up to the participants to decide.
Wonderful. More questions out there for Karsnes Harbor? I have one question here. Are you open for public-private initiatives in the public spaces? Also, are you looking for permanent structures, or can it be a subject to changes in the seasonal?
Seasonal or sub-seasonal?
Seasonal or sub-seasonal? I think we have an owner of a question up there. Thank you. Seasonal or sub-seasonal?
Anything that fills the specified goals and criteria is open. So participants simply have to demonstrate that it makes the most impact. About public and private, I hesitate to answer that myself here. So please use the questions or the inquiries route that is specified in the competition program.
In the program?
Yeah.
Yes. And if you then feel that the thing in the program isn't clear enough and you still need some, then you go in the conference or you ask the question. Okay? Yes? Great stuff. Thank you. More? Yes? One more question?
I am interested in hearing if Gopur City has the intention to realize the Winner project.
Realize the what? Sorry?
Realize the Winner project at the end.
Oh, realize the Winner project, yes.
Yeah, well, there is no commitment made in the competition program about actually executing the winning proposal, because there's a complication. It has to do with connectivity, and that very likely that means involving the neighboring municipality. So the commitment cannot be made at this stage. But there is one of the criteria is how easy it is to execute the solution in the short term. So that gives you the indication.
Okay, and we just got another question on did you get the answer you wanted? Yes, wonderful. We got another question on conference. Is the effect on leisure activities on the water an important criteria in the project?
All the criteria are stated in the program, so I'm not going to add to that. But as indicated, there are recreational uses of the Fossvogur Inlet, which is north of the competition site. So one would expect that it would be beneficial if these recreational uses could continue.
Wonderful. More questions? No? Thank you so much for your time. The last two, standing with me? Wonderful. Shall we go to Oslo?
Yes.
Great. Let's see if we have any questions here. Other than me testing? And say yes? No other questions than me testing. So, what about questions out there? Yes, we have one up there.
Very short one. What is the timeline that you have?
What is the timeline that you have? What's your timeline?
You mean timeline for realizing the project?
For realizing the project, yeah.
I don't have a specific answer for that, but
10 years, 20 years, 5 years?
10 years, 20 years, or more? I'm just repeating so that we have.
Yes.
It's not that sorry.
It's as soon as possible, because this is a very important project in this area, and all the other projects around are kind of waiting for something to happen in this square, so as soon as possible. I think that's the best answer I have.
Wonderful, great. Questions? Yes, one over here, and also one there. We can start here maybe, and then we will go to you afterwards.
Yes, I'm sorry I didn't do my homework properly, so maybe there's something in the competition program already, but I'd ask something about the demographics of the area. How many people live there? What kind of people? And do you expect more people to move into the area?
Actually, it's in the program. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think for the answer how many people are moving there, we don't know. We hope, we wish for more. And Oslo is, as Ellie said, a very, very fast growing city, so we will expect many people to move there.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question about cyclers. You are thinking that you're going to build some kind of transportation hub there, do you have the numbers how many cyclers are in that area in Oslo already? Or what kind of network for the cyclists you have there in the area? Because I think it's pretty important to know those facts before we just start to plan anything.
You're talking about how many people?
I'm talking about cycling and like what kind of cycling network you're having in that area in Oslo.
Then I would look at the appendix to the program where we have made a few maps showing the network and how the cycling network will be in the future. So we have plans for it, and something is already built and something is going to be built in the future. So look at the appendix.
Great. More questions? One there? Yes?
Yeah. My question is basically in Foruset. This is where the space is located, right? I know it's approximately 25 minutes with metro from Oslo Central to Foruset. With the way you guys are thinking, like what you want to do there, is it just basically like a cycling park where people could park bicycles and stuff? Because if that is the reason, if that's the plan, I don't know how visible that idea is basically in that region, owing to the fact that Foruset is not like really open as much as I think it should be. But I think there are more other creative ideas that could be introduced to that region to make it more interesting and a nice place that people could want to go to. So are you guys like really open to like private development from just private firms and people with private initiatives to start up something like a business or like a venture in that region, or does it have to be like a government decided stuff?
I think we haven't said anything about that. It has to be either private or public, if that's the question. So it's open.
So basically, whoever, if you find an idea really interesting, you're saying that you can give the space, collaborate with that person on that space to do whatever the team or the person wants to do with that space. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe you have a comment for that.
I think I want to draw your attention to the social aspect of our challenge. It's both about the physical appearance of the square, but also about the transport hub and then the social aspect. If you read our competition program, we're talking about how we want collaboration between both private shop owners and other private investors in the area and people living there. So that's a very important aspect of designing the square. But the competition is about the square. What can we do about the square? And there are 3 parameters in that competition.
Okay, no more questions for Oslo? Thank you so much for your time. Then it's the last one. Join me over here. Going to Sweden. Yes. Very good. I will see we didn't have anything up on the poster. I will see if we have some here. Yes, we do. Okay, so we'll start with these ones. So if you would have to choose between the 2 following aspects, affordability and social engagement, or that's one thing, or technically smart and resource efficient solutions, which would you choose? I believe that would be the question.
Yeah, I'm afraid the simple answer to that is that it's much up to the jury to actually decide and evaluate the proposals we hope to get from you. But you can see in our competition program that we've stated we want to see how your solutions affect, of course, both or all of these aspects. But it's basically up to the jury to decide finally what is the most interesting and best solutions for our challenge.
So you will not prioritize?
I will not.
No, that's all right. Great. Is there already a timeline with any planned changes?
There is a timeline. There's a process going on with CG Park, based in, actually it's been going on for years with dialogue with the citizens and within the city, of course, with different departments. You can see the attachments to our competition program, the plan program, and the sustainability strategy. And there have been studies made and so on. So there is a timeline in the plan program that you can see. However, we're not sure we can follow it. What's going on right now is that the work of the zoning plan is in the startup process, and the land allocation process is also in the startup process. So they're going on parallel with the competition, but there's also connections in between these different processes. So there's not a specific date set to start construction in a specific part of the area or something like that. The time plan is still very on an overall scale. Yeah, I'm not sure if that answers, or if you want me to specify further.
It's more like a comment again. Back to the first question, we got one on affordability and social engagement versus technologically smart and resource efficient. Why do we draw a line? Because basically, I mean, if you're using the right end of technology to build up something resource efficient and good for the society, I mean, this is smart. If you're just picking something which is wrong end and too high end or too low tech, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So why should we just draw a line in between? And you followed like the line with the question. I know that Malmö is one of the most advanced cities of the world when it comes to smart planning and social engagement. So that was just a comment.
Yeah, thank you. It's, that's also why we chose to connect these. We want to see both of these aspects enforcing each other, of course. Yeah, so thank you for that.
Wonderful. More questions out there for Sweden? Segepak? Yes, one over there. Yes, you can run. Just 2 seconds. There will be a woman right by your side.
Yes, the question was about the cultural aspects.
The cultural aspects, yeah.
Do you have any sort of art?
In any culture.
Any cultural aspects at all?
So cultural aspects to be aware of or to take into consideration?
Yes.
What's been said already about Stegepark is that the city considers it interesting for the history of the area. As Torsten explained earlier, it used to be a mental hospital. It was built in the 30s. There are many characteristics that the city wants to keep for the historic and cultural values. Other than that, there has also been said, of course, that this should be an area which is we talk about well-being, but you mean you're supposed to be able to live a good life and a pleasant life there. So I think for most people that involves also cultural aspects of different kinds. So it's great if we can have ideas also that include that.
Great. That's it. More questions for Sweden? 12 points, right? Yes.